to get on to the point where numbers are the language of the universe. So you've probably seen this. You've seen the all-seeing eye, right? And a lot of us relate that to the Illuminati, right? So this is supposed to be the Illuminati. I won't write it on there, but really, it's a spiritual symbol. And so what has happened is all of us come from the same source. And so what the people that are portraying the bad people are, and they're not really bad, and I'll get into that later, but they're playing the role of the bad guy, is they hijacked all our ancient symbolism, all the way back from ancient Egypt and even farther than that. And they've hijacked it and used it as their symbols so that we associate it with something negative, right? So they're hiding it in plain sight. That's what that means. And that's an old military intelligence strategy where you hide the truth in plain sight. So by using this symbol, the all-seeing eye, and they're doing this in the movies and all the celebrities, they're making us subliminally register this as a negative symbol in our society that's related to people that do negative things, right? But what this really is, so everything is energy, frequency, and vibration. So you got energy or source, right? And then you got different types of energy. So if this is source energy on the top of the triangle, then we have, what types of energy do we have? Two types of energy. You have negative energy and positive energy. So you got positive and negative. Okay, so you got the energy source, then you got positive and negative. And so why is this important? Because like I said, not only is everything energy, frequency, and vibration, but the whole truth of our existence is to learn how to control energy. And so basically it's balance. We're trying to learn how to stay in balance no matter what kind of energy we come across. So if somebody comes across you and always pokes your buttons or pushes your red buttons, you need to learn how to control from within and not let something outside of you control your emotions, because your emotions are inside. So that's what we're here to learn. And we can't actually learn to control our energy and achieve our psychic abilities until we learn how to control our emotions. And so that's how society has learned how to control us and give us false narratives and false beliefs, because with all these electronic devices throwing off the frequencies in our brain and the frequencies in our body, and alcohol throwing the frequencies off and the chemical imbalances off in our brain, so we have cloudy judgment, radiation in all of our electronic devices, music brainwashing us with the 440 hertz frequency. They use all these things so that it throws off our emotions so that we cannot correct them internally and don't react. Because if you were to push me and I got upset and I pushed you, that's a transfer in energy. I transferred negative energy back to you by pushing you back. But if you push me and I absorb it and I control from within, I control energy, and I don't react, I win because I'm in balance. Nothing outside of you bothers you anymore. And actually you start to accumulate more positive relationships and positive outcomes in your life. So you got energy, source, positive and negative energy, because let's just break it down into numbers to make it easier. So let's make this a 3, source a 9, and this is 6, right? And just to simplify it before I get into that, 1 plus negative 1 equals 0, right? Balance. Positive plus negative equals balance. 1 plus negative 1 equals 0. Everything's about balance. And the reason that the Creator makes everything about balance is because we're here to learn lessons. Again, to learn how to control our emotions, to learn how to control energy, right? Because we are energy. Everything is energy, frequency, and vibration. So the creator is actually the number 9. And then positive is the number 3, negative is the number 6, right? And so numbers are the language of the universe, right? So how do you know this? Well, 3 plus 6 equals 9, right? And okay, so your next question is going to be, well, how did you come up with 3, 6, and 9? It just worked out perfect, right? So let's get rid of this, and I'll come back to that. So we have 9 digits in our number system, right? We have a 0, but a 0 is equivalent to nothing, so it doesn't count for anything. So we've got 1, and let's add these together. Plus 2, plus 3, plus 4, plus 5, plus 6, plus 7, plus 8, plus 9, right? That equals 45. And you got 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6 plus 7 plus 8. And we'll leave the 9 out of this one. That's 36, right? So this one we don't have a 9. And this one we do have a 9, right? So in order to find out the truth of the universe, we try to find patterns. And that's why we reduce numbers. So if we reduce 45 to a full number, 4 plus 5 equals 9. See? 4 plus 5 equals 9. So if you add up every number in our existence, 1 through 9, you get 45, you can reduce it back to 9. Because 9 equals the creator, right? So you remember, you got up here, you got here, 9, 3, and 6, right? And so if you add up all these, you can see the pattern here. You leave the 9 out, 3 plus 6 equals 9. So whether you have the 9 in the equation or you have the 9 out of the equation, you still come up with 9. And so what 9 represents, oh, I messed it up. Let's just make it so that it's easier for you to understand. Let's just say God, right? And this would be angels. And this would be demons, right? So all these, if you add all these up without it, it equals 36, which breaks down to 9. You add up with 9 in the equation, it breaks down to 9 anyways. So all that these two equations are saying is whether you have God in your life or you don't have God in your life, God's still there, right? Balance. No matter what, whether you choose to have God in there, accept God, or you don't believe in God, or you don't practice in God, you're still going to have God in your life. Still there, waiting, no matter what. And so that's why you get 3 plus 6 equals God. No matter what you do, God's there. Whether you believe in God or you don't believe in God, the creator, whatever you want to call it. So that's how you come up with the triangle or the 3, 6, and 9, right? So going back to the triangle, you have energy source, and we'll do an equal sign and a number 9. And then you got positive, negative, 3 or plus, and minus or 6, right? So, and then you got the I, right? So all this symbol really means is this. So you've heard of this. Right? Thy body is thy temple, right? All this is, the triangle is thy body. The body is thy temple. That's all the sign really means, is the body is the temple. The triangle is the temple, right? A pyramid, a temple. This is a temple. And that recognizes thy body is thy temple. And the all-seeing eye is God, right? So God is eternal within. We're always connected. So it just means that the all-seeing eye is within all of us, the Creator. And God sees everything all at once, all at the same time, because God is within us. And that's how we find our power, is from within. Because if you learn to control your emotions from within and you don't react outwardly towards anyone or anything that's happening, you win. If you can stay positive in a negative situation, you win. So let's do another. So you want to see how and you're like, well, you haven't shown me enough numbers yet, right? So we said that 9 is the Creator, right? Okay. So what's under 9? The types of energy. So you got 3 and you got 6, right? There's still more numbers. Okay. So under 3, there's 3 numbers. And under 6, there's 3 numbers. Seeing a pattern here? Everything is 3, 6, and 9, right? Let's do the 3 numbers. So you got 1, 2, there's 3, 4. And you got 5, there's 6, 7, 8, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, right? See the pattern? Look at the shape. It's a pyramid, right? Because fundamentally, thy body is thy temple, and numbers are the language of the universe. So let's go a little bit further. Okay. So we already know that 3 plus 6 equals 9, right? So that means that 9 rules over 3 and 6, right? 9 is the boss over 3 and 6, if just to simplify it, right? But 3 and 6 are also spiritual numbers. So 3, 6, and 9 are all spiritual numbers in the spiritual realm. These 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, and 8 are all physical realm numbers, basically earth, the physicalities, the things that we create here. And so how do you know that 3 and 6 are in charge of all these numbers? How do you know that these numbers shouldn't be up here? Okay, let's do this. So you got 3 is in control of 1, 2, and 4, right? 1 plus 2 is 3. 2 plus 4 is 6, right? 5 plus 7 is 12. And then you break it down further. 1 plus 2 is 3. 7 plus 8 is 15. Break it down, 6. Right? So you got 3, 6, 3, 6. 3, 6 is above all these numbers. These are the spiritual, these numbers rule over the physical world from the quantum level. Okay? These are spiritual numbers. These are the earth numbers, the physical numbers. And why do you have a 3 and a 6 on one side and 3, 6 on the other? Since these are both under 3, since these are all under 3, why aren't both of these 3? And that's because, remember, everything is balance. So you got to have a 3 and a 6 for balance so you can be controlled. And why do we have balance? Because without balance, one or the other can have more control than the other. So, for instance, if everything is all positive and we don't have any such thing as negative energy, right? If we have no negative energy in existence, we don't even know what it is because it doesn't exist. We would never progress. We would never grow. We wouldn't know what to do if something that we perceived as bad happens. We wouldn't know what to do because we've never experienced it, because we get our knowledge from experience. So what happens if everything is negative energy and there's no such thing as positive energy? Well, then the ones who haven't figured out, they're the ones that are going to be slaves, right? Kind of like what's happening now in politics or whatever. You got the rich elite trying to rule the country, and we got a lot of people still obeying the rules that they're putting in place, but those rules don't really exist. They're not real. So if you don't have negative and positive energy, because without negative energy, you don't have to endure any hardship. You're not overcoming anything. So therefore, you're not learning any lessons. And if you're not learning any lessons, then you're not progressing spiritually. And if you're not progressing spiritually, then there's no point for us to even be down here on earth, because we're spirits. We're not physical bodies. We're spirits. We're all spirits. And in every scripture, whether you believe in the Bible, whether you believe in the laws of the universe, doesn't matter what you read, everybody agrees that we are spirits. So a good example of that is going back to our triangle, remember? Let's just keep it easy, right? So we'll just do God, right? Whatever you want to believe, it's fine. It doesn't matter. As long as you're practicing some form of spirituality, you're on the right track. Because eventually you'll get the answers from within. Because that's the whole point, is to become mind, body, and spirit, right? So right now we're just mind and body. We're disconnected from our spirit. You are connected to spirit, and then you get all this knowledge that you've never even researched before, right? So you got God, you got angels, you got demons, right? So, like I said, this is 9, this is 6, this is 3. This is the equal sign or balance. This is positive or plus. This is negative or minus, right? So let's do this. Watch. We got 3 numbers, right, that rule the universe, the physical world, from the spiritual realm, right, the quantum level. So you got 3. So let's do 3 plus 3 plus 3. That equals 9, right? Balance. Even though you add it amongst itself, it's still balanced. 6 plus 6 plus 6 equals 18. 1 plus 8 equals 9. Balance, right? What about it's God on itself? 9 plus 9 plus 9 equals 27. 2 plus 7 equals 9. It always comes back to God. No matter what, there's always balance. There has to be both. Because there's no such thing as that. There's no demons. There's no devil. None of that. Man created fear and negativity. Man created that. The only thing that exists is love. We created negativity. And this is enlightenment. Right? And then so when you add the lessons that you learned to become enlightened, you add them together, right? I've got the lessons now. Now I know all. I've experienced all I know all from the lessons I learned. You become mind, body, and spirit. See it? You get it? 1, 2, 3. Always in threes. Okay? So they say 666 is the devil. But if you add it together, it breaks down to 9. Okay? There's no such thing as demons and all that. It doesn't exist. There's energy. It's all energy. Everything is either negative or positive energy, and we created the stipulation of negative energy so that we could learn lessons to progress spiritually, to get back to the source or God. So here's another one. We got all the numbers. That's not going to work. Sorry. Okay, so there's all the numbers, right? If you take every one of those numbers and you add it to 9, right? It'll still go back to the original number that it was that you added to 9. So if I add 1 to 9, it's still going to break down to 1. Same thing with 2 and 3. So watch. So 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, and 9. Okay, so watch. That's 10, right? That's 11. That's 12. That's 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Okay? So that's 10. 1 plus 0 is 1. So you got a 1 and a 1. It's 11. 1 plus 1, 2. You got 2, 2. 1 plus 2 is 3. You got 3, 3, right? 1 plus 3 is 4. 1 plus 4 is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Right? So that's what I was saying is when we added up all the numbers, and you got 45, but actually equals 9. And then you didn't put 9 in there and equals 36, but breaks down to 9, right? This one is with God in it. This one's without God in it. What that represents is God represents the beginning and the end, right? So God is everything and nothing all at the same time. And I'm going to show you what that means in a second, how that works. So you remember this. Well, first let's do this. Oh. Okay, so let's do this. So you might have read or heard of scripture that says this. I am right? And you might have heard oh, sorry. Okay. So we're going to keep those separate. So you might have heard of these in the Bible. You might have heard it from somewhere, but I know you've heard at least one of them. There's a scripture that says, I am the Alpha, Omega, the beginning and the end. Alpha means beginning. Omega means end. And then it tells you what it means, right? You can look those up if you want. But another way that people portray it nowadays is I am the beginning, the end, and the everlasting, right? Because if you're the beginning and you're also the end, then you are the everlasting. So this is just another interpretation explaining this, right? So if you're the beginning, the end, and the everlasting, how do you prove that? Watch. So we said 9 is the creator. Let's scoot that over for more space. Okay, so let's look this up. So I said 9 was the creator, right? And we got 3 and 6 that rule from the spiritual realm or the quantum level that rules over the 6 physical numbers, right? And we already know that this equals 3. 1 plus 2 is 3. 2 plus 4 is 6. So we got 3, 6, 3, 6, right? So we're just going to do this. So you got 1 plus 2 is 3. 2 plus 4 is 6. 5 plus 7 is 12, right? So this is 12. This is 15. 1 plus 2 is 3. 1 plus 5 is 6, right? Then you got 3 plus 6 is 9. 3 plus 6 is 9. Then you got 9 plus 9 is 18, right? Which 1 plus 8 is 9. Right? See? So if you go to the scriptures and you see I am the Alpha, the Omega, the beginning and the end, or I am the beginning, the end, and the everlasting. That's this. Numbers. See? God is the beginning, and no matter what you do, God is the end and the everlasting. So let's finish the number pyramid. We left off with 9 and then 3 and 6. Remember, 3 and 6 are spiritual numbers from the quantum level, and they rule over all the physical world numbers, which are 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, and 8, right? And then we left off where we reduced those, right? So 1 plus 2 is 3, 2 plus 4 is 6, 5 plus 7 is 12, 1 plus 2 is 3, 7 plus 8 is 15, 1 plus 5 is 6, right? But we're going to reduce it again. 3 plus 6 is 9. 3 plus 6 is 9. 9 plus 9 is 18. 1 plus 8 is 9. See it? Okay. So some of you will know this as this. Right? I am the Alpha, Omega, the beginning and end, right? Some of you will know it from this, from your practices or research. And if you have different beliefs, you might know it as I am the beginning, the end, and the everlasting, right? So that's what this means. You got 9 at the beginning, you got 9 at the end, and then everything between is the everlasting, right? Beginning, end, and everlasting, right? It's infinite, right? But remember this. Remember what I did? What I showed you before? Right? Those numbers, the 9 numbers, are within thy temple. The body is thy temple, right? And so this is what I want to show you. Watch. See it? This is what it is. If you don't know what a Merkaba is, look it up. But look, the numbers. The foundation of the numbers are telling us what our reality is. If you just follow them, they tell us what our reality is. And what is our reality? What is this saying? So you got 3, 6, and 9, right? These are the spiritual numbers that rule the physical numbers from the quantum level, the spiritual realm, right? So you got 3, 6, and 9 in the spiritual realm. You got 3, 6, 3, 6, 9, 9, 9 in the spiritual realm, right? They're all in the spiritual realm. But look at this. I'll show you. Look at all the physical numbers. Notice something? Physical numbers. Let me redo that. Look. The physical numbers in the Merkaba are all enclosed. They're contained. See it? All the physical numbers in the Merkaba are contained. This is our reality. This is what this is telling us. Right? So this is the spiritual realm, the beginning. This is spiritual realm, the end. And in the middle, this is all the physical world numbers. 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, 8. This is our physical reality that we're living, and it's enclosed in between the bottom bases of both triangles to make the Merkaba. And the reason it's enclosed is because this represents a limited belief, a limited reality. We're in the reality of limited beliefs. We're encased or enclosed in between the spirit world, beginning and end. So this is where we're at, and we're trying to get here. This is where we're at. We're in the limited belief, the limited access reality, trying to get back to who we are, to our reality. So that's an important message, and you find that just within our number system. Look, it tells you the beginning, it's all spiritual. The middle is our physical reality. We're encased in a limited belief. We can't get out until we search from within to find the end. So everything is balance. That's what that means. Everything is balance. You don't think everything is balance? Here, let's just do something that's not even. So you got, hold on. So you got the 2016 election, USA, right? 2016 election, right? Nobody pays attention to it, right? It's not a big deal. It's just a number. It's just an election, right? Watch. 2 plus 0 plus 1 plus 6 equals what? 9. Balance, right? The creator equals 9. Representative of 9. That's the creator, right? So the election, if you add it up, it equals 9, or balance. And that is the beginning of balance. That's what that year meant. That's why somebody won that was not supposed to win. Or at least the people didn't want him to win. But it doesn't matter because it was all planned. It's part of our balance. It marked the beginning of balance. 2016 was handpicked to mark the beginning of balance because it was the end. It was the end and the beginning of Kali Yuga, right? Going from dark to light. And that's the endless cycle of time, right? So because it goes up, it goes down. It's a cycle. So you're saying, okay, so that's balance. So, okay, Terry, 2016, what about 2020 then, right? So you got 2020. And let's do this. This is the beginning of balance. Okay? 2020 is the year of clear vision, right? Because when you go to the eye doctor, perfect vision is 2020, right? Eye doctor, perfect vision is 2020. Okay? And so you're like, but this, so if you add this up, 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 0 equals 4, right? And you're like, well, I thought, Terry, you said everything was 9, right? Okay, so this is the year of clear vision, just like the eye doctor. This time frame was picked for a reason. It's not a coincidence that it happened on these dates, and I'm going to show you how coincidental it can seem, but it's not. This was spiritual. It's handpicked. So the year of clear vision, right? Perfect vision. And what that means is that we're all waking up to find out that we're starting to realize that this world isn't what we thought it was, that we're starting to see that people were trying to go against us to keep us down, and corruption and things like that, right? We're starting to see, a lot of people are starting to see that, okay? So what 4 represents, if you know anything about 4, numerology, or anything else that's spiritual on that side, you know 4 represents home and family, right? Foundation, or foundation, right? And you can do your own research on that, but 2020 is the year of clear vision, meaning we're all waking up, the Great Awakening, to the truth, right? And 4 also equals home, family, and foundation, right? Pay attention to your home, family, and foundation. Well, guess what happened during 2020? Lockdown, We were at home with our families, right? Not coincidence. It was planned. All of it is planned, okay? So he's like, okay, Terry, so what about 2021? Right? 2021 is the year of full disclosure. And what does that mean? It means that there's the ones that were keeping this information about our truth are starting to release it. So in the form of declassified documents from the CIA, like the release of the evidence and acceptance of aliens that they exist, right? Things like that. They're disclosing, they're having a year of full disclosure where they're slowly trickling out the truth to us that they were hiding from us our entire lifetime. Okay? So then if you go and you try to find the significance numerically, 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 1, right? And that equals 5, right? And you're like, okay, well that's still not 3, 6, or 9, Terry, right? But 5, the year of full disclosure, right? 5 equals change and transmutation. 5 equals change and transmutation, right? So we're changing. We're understanding what's going on, understanding the truth, and we're changing our beliefs. We're changing our lifestyle. Change. 2021 is about change and transformation after we get full disclosure. So you're like, okay, but that's a 5, not a 3, 6, and 9. Here it is. Everything is balanced. 2021 is 4 or 5, and 2020 is 4. 4 plus 5 equals 9. Balance. Everything is balanced and everything was planned. So, I want to show you one more thing. So, time. They want us to think that time exists, right? That we're on a timeline. Sorry for the bad writing. This is not the best clock. I get it. Okay? And all they do is they put clocks everywhere, the time, so that we're conscious of their narrative that time exists. But it doesn't, because it's infinite, right? So what they do is they put the time on our cell phones, on our TVs, on our computers, on our watch, right? On our wall clocks. Even when you're driving down the street and you see the time on one of the bank signs, it's everywhere. They want to remind us that we're running out of time, that we don't have time, that time exists, right? But it doesn't. So what they do is they always put symbolism in the matrix. The matrix, if you can see the matrix, you see all the symbolism and you can guide yourself through this. And so what happens is, for example, even on our clocks, even in time, when they're trying to convince us that time exists, they're still putting symbolism in there for us to understand the truth if we're able to see, right? So look, so this clock right here, we're going to add, right? So we're going to add, so we got 12 right here, right? And we're going to add 11 plus 1, that's 12. 10 plus 2, that's 12. 9 plus 3, that's 12. 8 plus 4, that's 12. 7 plus 5, that's 12. 6 plus 6 is 12, right? That was addition. We added all that up, right? And so watch, everything is balanced, right? So the next one we're going to subtract, right? We're going to subtract in this one because everything is balanced. 12 minus 6 is 6. Oh, I drew the wrong line. God damn it. So what they do is they try to make us believe that time exists. So watch. This one we're going to add. We're going to add all this up. Because remember, numbers are the language of the universe. So we got 12 right here. 12 equals 12 in itself, right? 11 plus 1, 12. 10 plus 2, 12. 9 plus 3, 12. 8 plus 4, 12. 7 plus 5, 12. And 6 plus 6, 12, right? This one we added, right? We used addition to get all 12s on one clock, our clock, that time, right? So everything is balanced, right? So the next one we're going to subtract, right? We're going to subtract the next one because we added this one. So we got to keep balance because the premise of our existence is balance. You have to have both in order to keep order, right? So we're going to subtract this one. So this one, we got 12 minus 6, 6. 7 minus 1, 6. 8 minus 2, 6. 9 minus 3, 6. 10 minus 4, 6. Marker's running out. 11 minus 5, 6. Got the flower of life. See it? This one was subtraction. Right? So to keep balance, we had addition and subtraction. Right? So look. All 6. So what else keeps balance? Well, watch. 1 plus 2 is 3. 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 3. 3. Right? So look what we got. We added, we got 3. We subtracted, we got 6. And look, 3 plus 6 equals 9. Balance. Everything is balance. And the truth is right in front of us, if you're able to see it. When I gave you an example, you got a block of cheese, right? And let's just say this is God, right? Just to make it simple. And you take a quarter of that block of cheese and you put it on a shredder, a cheese shredder, right? So now you got all these shreds of cheese, right? Like shredded cheese. This shredded cheese is us. Humans. The block of cheese is still there. It just multiplied itself in fractions to create more of itself to go out on these missions that we're on, to have more experiences, to learn enlightenment, to learn of itself, of its own enlightenment, right? So you take a quarter of that away and you get 1/4. So humans, and this is just hypothetical. And then you got 3/4, right? And you add those together, it equals 1, right? But we're a fraction of the creator, literally of the creator. There's not one that's better than us. There's not a race that's better than any of us. We're all the same, coming from the same source of energy, from the same properties in the universe, because the universe is the creator, right? So I want to put that out there. So here's what I want to say in regards to that. So you said aliens. So you got all these fractions of shredded cheese from the creator. You got humans, right? So let me get rid of this. You got humans. You got aliens. You got angels, right? There's also ascended masters. You won't know about that yet, maybe. And all ascended masters are people like us, like Jesus. He was an ascended master. He is our brother, right? He became an ascended master because what that means is you mastered thyself, right? So mind, body, and spirit, and our body is thy temple. Look within to find God or your source again, right? And then you become mind, body, and spirit. That means you've mastered yourself. So ascended master just means you came to the earth as a physical being, a spirit, came here as a physical being, and you mastered from within. You learned to control energy in all circumstances that you encountered So you mastered thyself and you became an ascended master. So you went back up into the spirit realm, and there's no reason for you to come back down to earth and incarnate anymore, because you've already conquered thyself in this spiritual realm of energy, right? So Jesus was an ascended master, and the reason he went around to try to teach everybody, he was just here to remind us who we were, to teach us who we were. And so one verse you can look up is John 14:12, and it says, "Verily, verily, verily, I say unto you, he who believeth in the things that I do, shall he do also, and greater things than that shall he do, because I ascend to my Father." So why did he say ascend? And I'll put it up on the screen here. He said ascend because we're on an ascension journey. Oh, my bad. We're all initiates. We're initiates on an ascension journey. So when Jesus always said he's going to ascend to thy Father, it's because he already mastered thyself from within and reconnected to source energy to remember who he was, that he was God, right? That he was literally God. He remembered, he became an ascended master on his ascension journey. He mastered it as an initiate and then ascended into the spiritual realm, which we call heaven, but it goes way beyond that, right? That's John chapter 14:12. So he says, "I say unto you, he who believeth in the things that I do." So basically, if you believe in the miracles that Jesus did, and you believe in the things that he teaches you, then you too can do the things that he does, or the miracles that he does, but also you can do even greater things than that if you believe, because he's leaving now. He's taught you everything he needed to do. He's leaving. He's left it to us. He said what he needed to say, and it's up to us to believe it or not. And so there's many people like me that are connected now, or that have been. It's been a couple of years for me, but there's people way above me and this and that understand this, and they know where they're at as an initiate. So there's initiate levels of, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? There's more than that, but these are the important ones, because generally when you get your psychic abilities, you're going to be a 3. You're going to be a 3rd level initiate, right? We reincarnate on Earth. And once you learn, like Jesus did, that you are a spirit, and you become a 5th initiate, you no longer reincarnate on Earth. You leave the cycle of rebirth on Earth at the 5th level. And then when you become mind, body, and spirit is at level 7, because that's when you become an ascended master, because the spirit literally enters the physical body to take over. And then you remember that you are God. You are mind, body, and spirit. That happens at the 7th level. So you might be asking, we leave the cycle of rebirth at level 5 initiate. We reincarnate? Yes, we have to reincarnate. So the average life expectancy, let's say, is, hypothetically, let's just say it's 80 years. There's no way that we could learn even close to what Jesus achieved in 80 years. We need multiple lives to do that. We can't learn it in one lifetime. It's just too much. This is a very, very long plan. So we might have lived 15,000 previous lives. And that's why we have memories of things that we don't know where it came from and we were never there, right? Or that's why you see things in the news, and you can look this up, Google it sometime. There is this lady who got a heart transplant from this guy that died in a car wreck or a motorcycle accident. And she wanted to go thank the family of the guy for being a donor. So she went and found his parents and introduced herself, and they invited her in. They talked a little bit, and they got to talking. And this lady said that she's been having a lot of cravings for Taco Bell all the time. And they laughed, and they told her the reason that she's having these cravings is because, well, they didn't know, but they said her son always loved Taco Bell, and he got it at least once a day after work, right? And it's because she had his heart within him, because our heart has 40,000 neurons in it, which are brain cells, right? Neurons in our brain. There's also 40,000 neurons in our heart. There's also neurons in our gut. We have brain cells in 3 different areas of our body, right? So with this neural network, it's configured to your body. So if you take my heart out and put it in your body, you're going to have neural connection that's connecting to your neural connection, and the memories are going to be mixed. You're going to start remembering and having flashbacks of my memories, even though they're not your memories, because you put my heart to interconnect with the rest of your neural system, right? So, and that's true. You can look it up. Scientifically, they've proven this. So, anyways, the point, humans, aliens, angels, ascended masters, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It goes on until you get back to God, right? It goes, there's all these different ones. And so this is how you look at it. And I'll put this up on the screen because there's a perfect picture that I use for people too. So this is us, right? This is us on Earth, that dot, okay? That's aliens. That's angels. Ascended masters. God, right? So you can see the circle's bigger. The farther out we go, it gets bigger. The farther in we go, it gets smaller, right? That's dimensions. So we're in the 3rd dimension, right? That's why they keep saying 3D Earth or 3D, because we're in the 3rd dimension. We see things in 3rd dimensional vision, right? Aliens are here. They're in the 4th and 5th dimensions, right? Notice their circle is bigger than ours. It uncovers ours, right? So to us, aliens might be gods, right? Because they can see from a higher perspective, right? They can see everything we do all at once, all at the same time, because it's like looking in a snow globe. The snow globe is 2nd dimension, and we are the 3rd dimension. We can see everything that goes on in the snow globe all at once, all at the same time, because we're looking at it from a higher perspective, right? So this dimension is higher. Aliens are in a higher dimension, so they look down on us, being able to see everything we do all at once, all at the same time, right? Then outside of that, you got angels, right? They can see everything that aliens do and everything that we do all at once, all at the same time, because they're in a higher dimension, right? So when you're standing on top of a building, you can see everything that's going on down there that you wouldn't be able to see on the street, right? So, and it just keeps going. So, just like these wine glasses, everything in our reality is based on perception. Perception makes our reality, right? So, you look at these wine glasses, and you got the one that's closest to us. There's 4 of them, right? Notice how the wine glass, you can see all the way through it. You can see all 3 of the other wine glasses straight through the first one, right? The first wine glass represents God, the all-seeing eye, right? In the middle of the pyramid. You can see everything all at once, all at the same time, because God has the highest perception of reality out of all of us because it's our creator, okay? And then the second glass would be like ascended masters or angels. The third glass would be aliens, and the fourth glass would be humans. You see how each level can still see the 2 below it? That's our existence. We are all the same being. Aliens, angels, ascended masters, God. We're all the same being. We're just fractioned off like the shredded cheese. We're just multiplied into existence to have experiences from different dimensions and different realities from a different perception of reality. So we're God multiplied to have experiences from a different dimension of a different perception of reality, so that we can learn faster instead of just doing it one dimension at a time or one being at a time in one dimension. People are going to freak out when they understand that this is so much bigger than what they're physically seeing. And this is the secret that the corruption is hiding. And I want to get into that real quick is they're hiding the fact that we are God, that we can literally create the reality that we want to experience down here. And they're hiding it because what secret could be bigger? What is the biggest secret in human history? There'd be no bigger secret than hiding the fact that we are the creator. That's the biggest secret you could ever hide. So why do you think they're acting so crazy? Because they don't want us to find out. Because if we find out, that we are all the creator, then they no longer have control over us. We don't go to work and work for them and make them rich. We don't care about money because it's worthless. If you look at it from even just a physical standpoint, like you have 200 years ago, even not that long, we built our own houses. We grew our own food and did our own building. We did our own food and gardening. We built candles for light. We did everything by ourselves. We didn't have to pay somebody to do that stuff. They've slowly but surely incremented us into society to need from without us. On the external, we needed something from outside of us instead of from within. Everything we already had was within. We knew how to do everything already. But they got us moving into cities instead of outside the country, right? Living abroad, because in cities they can pump in all this radiation, all this frequency and try to control us. We're all more in a collective area to where they can control us easier. And then they invented money so that we thought we needed to go to work and pay our bills and pay rent and to have a place to live. And we got away from knowing how to build houses and how to do our own farming and how to raise cattle and things like that on our own, right? They already had all that before, and they slowly increment us through history to lose track of knowing how to do that and have that knowledge. So the other thing is I wanted to touch up on is because we all come from, even the ones that we see as bad guys here on earth, we all come from the same source or God or creator, because there's only one that created everything. So we're all coming from the same source, same properties in the universe. And so when you look at them on earth, how are we going to learn lessons to understand more about ourselves? Again, you're going to need that negative energy, because without negative energy, everything is bliss. Everything's happy. We don't learn anything because we just assume everything's great. We didn't have to do anything. It's already great, right? Why fix a broken wheel? It's perfect, right? So you need that negative energy. So you have people that sign up, or spirits that sign up to be the bad guys in this life, to learn about what it's like to be a criminal or like a pedo or part of the rich elite and the corrupt. And then you have the people like us that are on the good side that are trying to learn to overcome that and control from within. And so they're not actually bad. They're bad in this plane because that's what they signed up to be. But the only thing that ever exists is love. Humans created fear and greed and corruption. Humans created that because they're trying to learn about a negative side, so that way when you have both sides of the equation, you can't just ask somebody their side of the story and believe it, right? We know that. Why do you ask both sides of the story? Because balance. Everything is balance. You can't get the truth without balance. So we got to have people playing the bad guys and learning that part of it. And you also have to learn the good side of it, try to overcome the bad side of it, right? So when you put it all together and you played both of these in many lifetimes, you have balance. You understand both sides and how to overcome it on both sides, and you have balance. You are mind, body, and spirit at that point. You're enlightened, and you move up to the next stage. So everything is balance, and everything is duality, meaning twos, because that's all our number system is it doubles onto each other, right? It's kind of like the creator. The creator is one being, but the creator is also positive and negative energy, right? But outside of the creator, everything is duality. So how do we make something? So the creator made all of us. How do we make a being ourselves? We have to have masculine and feminine energy. The creator is both masculine and feminine. How do we do it? Guys are the masculine, girls are the feminine. You get a guy and a girl together, they create a baby, right? You have to have both. The creator is already both. It made everything. But down on the lower realms, we haven't figured out that we are both. Well, most of society, 99.9%, doesn't know that we are both negative, or negative, positive, and feminine and masculine energy. We just relate things to what we see. They teach us with narrative that seeing is believing, but it's actually believing is seeing. Just like Jesus said, if you believeth in the things that I do, you can do also and much greater things than I. Because believing is seeing. Seeing is not believing. We're not a physical body. This isn't really us. We're spirits. So believing is seeing. And if you can learn to look through all these movies and everything and understand what they really mean, none of them are talking about Illuminati and devil worshiping and all that, or the Bible. It's not talking about any of that. People can kind of try to relate it to that, But if you study the laws of the universe and you understand the laws of the universe with energy and things like that, you understand that everything in this world that's corrupt is inverted truth. So just like the Illuminati symbol, hiding the triangle pyramid that ancient Egyptians used, they're hiding it in plain sight, but because they're using it and we didn't know about it yet, we thought it was something bad, but it's not. So the truth is inverted. So if you just look at the things that are negative in this world and you flip it around, you're going to start seeing the matrix. You're going to understand everything that they put in movies is about the laws of the universe, something about it, like the law of attraction. Law of attraction doesn't exist, right? They want us to believe that we attract things, but we don't. We create things. We're a creator. We are the creator, fractioned off in multiple different entities to have different experiences from a different perception of reality in different dimensions. I wanted to say one last thing is they teach us, we got all these clocks. We got clocks everywhere. We got clocks on our TV, clocks on our phone, clocks on our computer, clocks on the wall, clocks in our watches, clocks on bank, everything, right? They're trying to tell us that time exists and time does not exist. Time literally doesn't exist. We're infinite beings. And so they tell us that we live on a timeline, right? That's what they tell us. And they've got all these clocks, digital and non-digital, everywhere, just to remind us that time exists, that we're running out of time, that we don't have a lot of time to accomplish what we need, blah, 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 right? And they always tell us this too. You probably heard this. History repeats itself, right? So time does not exist. Time does not exist. It's a false narrative they're trying to control. They also say history repeats itself. So if you look at all the other, we'll get to that in a second. Let me just show you. So history repeats itself. Time does not exist, that we live in a timeline, right? The reason is because time is cylindrical. Time is a circle, cylindrical, right? How do you know that? Okay, couple things. So God, right? They say God is infinite and we're God. But just for simple terms, let's just break it down. God is the beginning, the end, and the everlasting, right? Infinite being, right? So if you start here on the circle and you draw a circle all the way around, you get back to the same point, right? On this, you never get back to the same point, right? This is infinite. You can keep going around and around and around, and you keep getting back to the same point eventually, right? This will go on forever. You can never go back to the beginning. Okay, that's what they want us to believe. They want us to believe that once you do something to fail a lesson or whatever in your lifetime, like right here, that once you're past here, it's too late. You can't fix it unless you time travel. And that's not true. Time is cylindrical. And so, and a circle is infinite, right? A circle is God, infinite. Circle is infinite, right? And that's why history repeats itself. History repeats itself because time is cylindrical. It's a circle. It's infinite. It doesn't have a beginning. It doesn't have an end, just like the Bible verse. I am the beginning. I am the end. I am the everlasting, right? I am the beginning. I am the end. I am the everlasting. Got it? Infinite. We are infinite beings. The reason that history repeats itself is because time is cylindrical. We get back to this point again, right? And why do we do that? Why is it cylindrical so that we get back to that point? And the reason is because of this. We are here to learn to control energy, right? remember, we can't do that in one lifetime. It's hard. This isn't easy. So we're here to learn to control energy, right? And I told you from within. Stay positive in a negative situation and you win. Well, if you can't learn it in one lifetime, right? How are you going to learn it if it's just a timeline? You're not. You're going to have one chance to do this and then you're done, right? So the reason time is cylindrical and infinite is because when you do pass, this is you, this is Molly, I pass, right? And then you got your boyfriend or your husband, right? He's over here, hey guys, right? And he's still trying to pass this, right? Let's say he's right here. He didn't pass it this time. You did, right? So you're over here thinking, man, I'm so smart. And you're dumb, right? That's what people say when they know something that others don't. And it has nothing to do with that. All it means is that you passed this lesson and they didn't. So you have a higher understanding of what this lesson means, what it is to overcome it, and what the benefit is from that point, which is we learned what to do to overcome that from here on out, right? Whereas he hasn't learned it yet, so he doesn't know what to do. So to you, instead of looking down at him thinking he's so dumb, look at it from the standpoint like, I've already been through this, so I should know. And I see him going through it. So it doesn't make him dumb because I was at his spot at one point in time, just like him, where I didn't know what to do and I couldn't pass it, right? And so that's why people need to take it easy with name calling and things like that, because they think they know something that somebody else doesn't. It doesn't make them dumb, because at the same hand, he might have passed this. I didn't pass, right? So just because you passed this doesn't mean you're better than him. He might have passed this one and you might not have passed that one. So now he has a higher level of understanding of consciousness of this particular event or circumstance he learned to overcome, and you're still trying to learn that. So it goes hand in hand. Nobody's better than anyone else. Yes, there's some of us that are farther along on this journey than others, right? I make sure that I never criticize anyone for not understanding something, because just because you know something from experience, they still need to experience it. They still need to learn that lesson so they can grow too and be at the same understanding as you have become, right? And so that's why time is cylindrical, so that it gives that person or him a chance to relearn what you've already learned. So if you were here during that one cycle and you learned your lesson and it's gone, and then time's just linear, he would never have a chance to experience that. He would never ever have that knowledge. So technically, with everybody's terminology nowadays, he'd be stupid because he never had a chance to experience that and understand it. So he'll never learn from it except for you trying to teach him. And we don't learn from being taught, from being talked to, from being lectured, from reading books, from watching documentaries. We learn from experience, because experience cannot be lied about, right? But words and thoughts can. Experience doesn't lie, but words and thoughts can. So it's cylindrical to give him a chance, a continued chance, to try to finally pass this level of understanding so he can move on to the next level, right? And you're doing the same, you're just on a different lesson. And we're all on different lessons, okay? And yes, it is true that some of us are farther along the road. That could just be because we reincarnated more times already than the last person. Whatever it is, we're all on different levels, and we all have different levels of understanding. And consciousness is just different levels of higher levels of understanding. You're just understanding something from a higher perspective, kind of like looking down from another dimension. You're looking down on third dimensional Earth from the fourth dimension, like the wine glasses I showed you. You're looking down and you're able to see everything all at once. Like, oh yeah, I remember that, before I ascended to the next realm to learn all new lessons over again, before I ascend to the next realm and learn all new lessons, and ascend to the next realm, all new lessons, till finally you get back to the Creator. That's how it works. You don't just stop after you pass Earth. You keep going in the spirit realm, keep going. So, right? They're already up there. They're learning new lessons in a different dimension. And eventually we'll do that. We probably already have done that, right? So you got to be careful of name calling and thoughts of negativity towards other people, because that's controlling energy, right? We develop karma, kind of like people say, don't put that out there in the universe because karma will get you, because we develop karma. The universe is God. And how we pray is through meditation from within. We don't pray like this. This isn't a prayer. You're asking something from outside of you to forgive you for whatever you did wrong and give you blessings. And that's not how it works, because it's within. Remember, thy body is thy temple, right? And God's already in here. God's already in thy temple, waiting for you to meditate, to quiet down and listen to the messages of guidance, right? So you got to be careful, because we develop karma with thoughts, words, and actions. If they're positive thoughts, words, and actions, you get blessings, right? If they're negative thoughts, words, and actions, you develop karma, and then you can experience a hardship, or what people consider hardship, but it's just a lesson, or you go through things. So you got to be careful of that and what you say, because everything is energy. And when you're like I said, when I pushed you back, I'm throwing back negative energy at you instead of keeping it within and letting it dissolve, right? So I built more karma, so another lesson I'm going to have to overcome. I just created another lesson in life that I'm going to have to overcome before I have more blessings from that karma. So anyways, that's I want to stop there, because I'm getting way too far into this. I know this is probably a lot to take in, but let me know if you want to know more. But I can assure you that this goes way deeper than what I've had time or taken time to show you. And I'm going to be making videos and stuff like that. But if there's something that you wanted to know more about, like aliens or whatever you want to know about, just let me know. Or questions or whatever. Or if you want another video, just let me know. Namaste.